The following podcast has an age rating of 15 as we talk about some immature things later on, so enter at your own risk. Hello, and welcome to the TBI podcast, Those Bored Individuals. What is up, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Those Bored Individuals.
Yeah.
Well, this month was pretty interesting for me, considering the fact that I just turned 24.
Hey, happy birthday.
My God, you're old.
I got older.
I wanted to make that joke, but I figured, none of you will get it. I was wrong.
Well. So, how have you guys been since the last podcast?
I'm pretty good.
I'm dying.
Yeah, Michael's got a bit of a cold, so he's going to be struggling throughout this one, so...
Yes, so if you hear me cough, then I don't have COVID, don't worry.
Yeah.
You got lucky. My stepdad wasn't so lucky.
Everything gets well.
So, Dudley, what about you? How have things been for you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been a bit of a roller coaster of emotions over the last couple of weeks. But luckily, after tomorrow, I've got 2 weeks and a half off, so I can't wait.
Nothing.
Sounds like you need it.
Yeah.
Well,
I wish I had that.
so yeah, my birthday was... Sorry to diversify from that, but yeah, my birthday came and went. I know, Rowan, you were there. We saw a few of the new Animaniacs episodes, didn't we?
Very good. Love it.
Yep. So yeah, I got quite a few interesting things, and one of the best things I even got my own clanger. I even brought him in for the interview, so...
Oh, no.
Everyone, I want you to meet Spanner. Introduce yourself, Spanner.
Oh, nice.
he sounds a little poorly. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's just got a very deep voice, don't you, Spanner?
He's not the only one that's poorly.
So yeah.
This is going to be a new character. Please tell me a new character.
Alright.
New counting Fresh vs. Snake Star.
Who knows? I mean, it was such an unexpected gift, and so much so that he's going to be voice acting for me at... Oh, I said too much. Sorry.
Well,
You did get that mouth arc as well, so not entirely out of left field.
So, another thing that happened...
After our latest...
Yep.
I was just going to say, after our latest Gartic session with the thimble incident, I don't need to be reminded with the clangers.
So yeah, I got Spanner, and one other thing that happened between this podcast and now, one of two things. Michael, have you managed to see James Bond, Deadpool, or Predator since last time?
No.
Okay, let's clear that. But
Well, you know, I had college, I got a writing exam, I didn't have time to watch movies. I'm sorry.
well,
It's okay.
another thing that happened was we decided if we made a Looney Tunes character, what would they be? And, well, it's been a month, and now it's about time we showed off our characters. So, while you get your pictures ready, I'm going to send mine first, since I'm the one who basically started this little non-official contest in the first place. So, I'm sending my character in the chat now. Meet Kakapo.
Oh.
He seems jolly.
Okay.
Yeah, based on the real New Zealand parrot that's quite endangered, and considering that the most famous footage of the Kakapo is showing how one single lonely one can get, well, enough about that. My one is a bit different because he's both nervous when it comes to meeting new people, but delightfully jolly when he's around people he knows very well.
Mine's the complete
Relatable.
opposite.
So, who wants to send theirs?
I suppose in the theme of like New Zealand, Australia, here is my one. Plato the platypus.
Oh, look at him!
I might. Nice.
I like.
Oh.
I came up with this whole gimmick like for those who have taste, have you ever seen Avatar The Last Airbender or
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then have you ever heard of the cabbage guy?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Yes.
My cabbages!
Yeah, I
he's
remember
basically
that.
he's basically that guy except a lot more jaded. It's like for those in the audience who don't know, the cabbage guy is a character in Avatar The Last Airbender. He's a background character, but his gimmick is that he has a cart full of cabbages, and the main characters will often like run through being chased or doing some shenanigans, and his cart of cabbages will be destroyed, and he's like, my cabbages!
I do know this person.
Yes.
Yeah.
The same idea is here, except he's more jaded. He's just minding his own business, like reading the paper or just trying to get some work done, and something that the other characters will do will somehow inconvenience him. Not hurt him, just be an inconvenience. Like in this picture here, his broken mug of coffee. My headcanon of what happened to that is Daffy and Bugs were having their duck season, wabbit season skit again. And when Elmer's gun went off, it sailed off past both of them, miles away, and hit his mug, which was his first cup of coffee for the day.
Oh, wow.
I like. This guy looks like to me, it could be. Not necessarily true, but he comes across as he looks quite aged. Like he looks like a grandpa sort of Looney Tune. Like you can see him reading a newspaper and like talking to Granny or something.
He's not even that old. He's just very tired and very jaded. He's sick of everything that's happening. Like, well, that's the third car I've had to replace because of an anvil-related incident.
Nice.
He never gets hurt. He's just more inconvenienced. Like, okay, gonna have to call the window company again, get my windows replaced.
So, who's next?
Well, mine's on a sketch pad, so it's gonna be awkward.
So, developmental.
I don't know who's next.
You first, Michael. You first.
Okay.
Oh,
I had to take a photo real quick. Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. I hope the picture is not so blurry. Yeah.
while we're waiting for Michael to upload his, regarding Daniel's, I can definitely see how it's like the Looney Tunes sort of style. Like, I mean, but it also looks a bit like, I don't know, it looks like a cross between Foghorn Leghorn and those like green bird Martians from like space.
Yeah, I did rely quite a bit on Foghorn and a lot of the other bird-like Looney Tunes characters because Kakapos are quite chubby, and so I imagined like he's just really small, but he has that sort of build to him. So yeah,
he's got like those tweety feet.
Yeah.
As well and stuff.
He's cute. I like him.
Right, I'm ready to send it.
All right.
Do it.
Do it.
Whoa. It's like Wile E. Coyote's cousin.
I did base him off some original concepts from Looney Tunes, but made it into my own style as well.
Ah. All right.
Does he have a name?
I haven't thought of a name because I literally just drawn him like today, and I didn't have time to think of a name. So yeah, obviously he's a wolf, and he's not that friendly character. He's more like a villain in the story, I guess.
Right. All I can think of is Wolful Wolf, but who knows? Maybe something will come up later.
Oh, I just broke my pen. That's not good.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, Wolf. He looks like he's got that style that he could be like a Cuphead villain or something. Like he's got like a black head, but he's got a white face. He looks
Yeah.
a bit like he's like a sort of a the wolf that Dan went to cosplay as.
Boris the Wolf?
Yeah,
Oh.
he's like a Boris the Wolf sort of Looney Tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I didn't know what to name him because I struggle with names.
I see. Well, just one left. Dudley?
Yes.
I really hope I'm not the only one with a sketch pad. That'd be embarrassing.
Oh, I actually thought it had to be a drawing, so I did a drawing. And
Yay.
even though he's not the most detailed of characters, I put a lot of thought into how this character would function in a Looney Tunes cartoon. So, Antoine.
Antoine.
Oh, that's
So, what's he like?
Well, I was trying to think. I based it on the fact that a lot of Looney Tunes have their gimmicks. So I thought of it like this. There's the baby kangaroo in Looney Tunes who's always mixed up for being a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got others like I had thought this through. But there's a load of gimmicks, like a character will turn up and they'll just have a gimmick like, oh, Pepe Le Pew will do this, Roadrunner will do that, and something has to happen in an episode. And I thought, okay, I imagine this character, his premise is, he's based on the fact that ants, if they were our size, would be like the strongest animal in the world, basically. And so he'd probably be in like 5 episodes out of all the episodes, like Marvin the Martian is or something. And he'd always enter like a wrestling competition. And whenever he'd turn up and the announcer would say, here he is, Antoine, everybody would laugh. And then the big butch guy who can like lift weights and stuff would point the finger and laugh. But the whole cartoon, Antoine would be able to like just grab him and go bing bong bing and like crash him into the ground.
the swing over the head and slam him on the floor. Love that.
Exactly. And then it would be more chaotic. Like eventually, like let's say his 3rd episode, the last straw, the guy brings in a tank to try and get rid of him. So Antoine brings in his tiny little tank, and that's enough to take down the big tank with a massive blast or something.
Oh my god.
I love it.
And then I thought of this idea last, but like it would always end with Antoine getting like a massive medal that's like 3 times bigger than he is, and the episode would end with him like not dying, but it falling on him and him being taken out by the medal. Like that would be the running joke. Like he'd be like, ding.
Wow.
So yeah, I thought that could be funny. I could see that fitting into a Looney Tunes scenario. Sort of thing.
Well,
You put thought in his place in the world like I did. I like that one.
I just did something basic.
well, they all look great, and thanks for taking part, guys. This is...
You're welcome.
It was fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, maybe someday someone might do an animation with these 4, but who knows? A guy can dream.
Maybe in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yes. You're listening to the TBI podcast. Well, now that it's September, now is usually the time when everyone starts going back to college and back to school.
Especially me.
Yep, and me.
Oh.
Now, what?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, lucky you. Now, because at homeschooling is still technically an option, you have the option to either go into the class and do stuff there, or stay at home and you can do stuff there. So now we've got 2 options. One benefit of the homeschooling was the lack of bullies. Good luck trying to pummel me when I could potentially be infected. Now,
Go up to the fight for poison damage.
yes. Now, now, when it comes to bullies, it doesn't have to be doom and gloom, because there are some circumstances in which the opportunity presents itself and you get the ultimate payback. So, I was wondering, what stories can we recollect where we got revenge on maybe not just a bully, but just someone mean who deserved it, basically?
Well, I know I've been bullied, but I don't know if I ever got them back.
Well, I know. Oh, oh God.
Okay, I think Johnny. Okay.
I'm guessing you've got a pretty big story, Dudley.
Alright, nah, sorry. No, about the same as my people.
Oh, well. Well, don't worry. I can fill in the gap. Because I've got quite a number of stories where I've gotten payback on someone. Now, I'll just be honest with you lot. In school, I was a little bit of a tattletale.
Oh.
Ditto.
Yeah, because word of advice, kids, if you want to get through school, make sure you're on the teacher's side and not the rebellious students who don't want to be there.
I'm sort of mixed feelings, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, but one story that I can definitely remember where I got payback on someone was I was in high school it was my second year in high school, and it was during the middle of winter. Now, when it gets to winter, I always wear gloves and a hat when it gets colder. And anyone who regularly wears a hat in high school will know that if you wear a hat, everyone who likes making fun of you will make it their prime goal to make sure that hat is removed from your head.
Yes.
Now, I remember this one instant, and like I said, it was during the middle of winter, during my second year of high school, and it was right at the end of lunchtime, and the bell rings and everyone starts making their way back into the building to their next class. Now, this guy in my year, I don't class him as a bully. I think he just wanted to tease me on that in that moment. So, for the sake of privacy, I'm going to be renaming him to Samson. Now, Samson was quite tall and lanky and wore glasses, so I think that paints a mental picture for you. And so he, for some reason, thinks, hey, it's that guy in my year and he's wearing a hat inside. Well, time to mess with him, I guess. And so he yanks on my hat, not enough to pull it off, but just enough to make it come loose, so it would irritating me, so I just have to pull it back down. Because my thing is that I wore my hat and coat until I got to my class and sat down and put it over my chair and such. And so I was like, okay, pal, listen, you don't want to do this today. This isn't the time. That's what I was thinking in my mind. And so, halfway up the stairs, he does it a second time. And I just thought, okay, here, I've given you 3 strikes, one more time, and I'm gonna act. Because, like I've brought up before, 3 strikes, and then I take action.
Okay.
And so, I purposefully walk slower up the stairs, just waiting for him to do it again. And sure enough, he yanks on my hat a third time, and in my mind, I was like, all right, that's it. Time to act. And
You
so,
pushed him down the stairs?
well, you'll see.
Oh.
So I slowed down for a moment. Time slowed down for me. And so
Okay.
in my mind, my brain suddenly went into working mode, thinking, okay, what are my options? What are my options here? And so I quickly scanned him from behind and looked at his backpack. Now, most backpacks will have that little loop at the top of it so you can hang it up on hooks, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I just looked at that and I looped my index finger through that loop. And in the back of my mind, I heard Scorpion from Mortal Kombat saying, "Get over here!" And so
Oh, no.
I just held my position. He's right at the top step. He balances a bit like, ooh. And then when that line in my head went, "Get over here," I just simply yanked back as hard as I could.
Oh, my God.
And he tilts backwards, stumbles down the stairs, and slams into the halfway divider wall.
Damn.
Oh, damn.
I
And
wasn't expecting that.
yeah, and so I was like, mission accomplished. And then I quickly sped off into my next class where he couldn't touch me.
Ooh. Was there ever any, like, what happened after?
Nothing. I think
Did you ever see him again?
No, like, I saw him around. I think in that moment he just thought, not bad, kid.
I'm not messing with that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that myself. Maybe I sought out the wrong opponent. Yeah,
Well, so long as you don't have a backpack on you, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
And then karate when I was in school now.
Yeah, so that's the perfect opportunity for you to hold your own against anyone who oppresses you.
You got to be a Mortal Kombat character for just a minute.
Yeah, pretty much.
No more, no less.
I just thought of it going, finish him!
No, I haven't gone that far, to my knowledge at least. So,
I imagine it's much worse.
so any payback stories you fondly remember?
Well, I have been bullied and probably attacked by a person before. It was like someone aggressive because the way he's been treated in his life. But I don't think I ever got him back because obviously I wasn't a violent kid back in my days.
Yeah.
So the only thing that happened that we went our separate ways and we never saw each other again, and he got kicked out of school. So a win-win.
Well, yeah, that's what being good's all about. So,
I've heard stories about how people who used to bully me like fell from grace after they left school and stuff, and it's like, well, I mean, that's what you get for not, going the right path and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, with bullies and stuff, you never know the whole story with like backgrounds and things like that. Obviously, I do have a couple of stories, but I can't. As far as getting back at people go, like I guess it's because I haven't had time to think. I have to go away and think about it. But so all the way up until year 9, when I was a kid, I used to be a bit of like a grassy sort as well, because I always thought, okay, I've been taught I need to follow the rules, I need to be good, all that, yada yada yada. And nobody else wants to do that, clearly. So we get to like year 9 in secondary school, and at one point I just saw a group of people in our tutor room fiddling with the radio, which the teacher has said they don't want it touched while she's not in there and it's on break. So then it bothered me that other people were doing stuff they shouldn't be. So I went and told the teacher, even though it had nothing to do with me. And she goes, and so she's like, thanks for telling me. And then she goes and tells them. So her action is, I'm wondering if she did this like in a teach me a lesson sort of thing too, but I doubt it. But she went, she banned the tutor group from the room for a week because like for it. And that included me. So we're all eating outside and everyone's like, oh Dudley, if you hadn't said anything then this, that and the other. And I'm like, well, if you hadn't been fiddling with the radio when you shouldn't have been, then it wouldn't have happened. But forever, by that point it was like I forever knew past that point I'm only gonna interfere with stuff that has to do with me specifically. Because I need to get over this grassy phase. And it makes me look back and think, obviously, nobody's friends with the grass and stuff like that, so I can understand why some people weren't that fond of me. But I always had this thing about supposed to follow the rules. So, it's kind of a awkward situation. Like, most people were like, want to be rebellious and stuff. I mean, I'm not saying everyone should go around throwing rocks at windows or anything like that. I'm just
obviously.
There was also this one time, it wasn't so much revenge, but I always remembered it kind of in a funny way, because it ended in a funny way. So for English, we had to do a PowerPoint presentation about something, and we had to talk about it in front of the class.
Yep, I remember that class.
Yeah, which is always a fun experience. And I was going through a lot of stress at that point, so I decided to, I made this really, miserable one about bullying and stuff. Like, I was, it was like a rant, basically, on my part. And there was this particular guy, let's just, for the record, say he's called Bob. And he's tall, curly-haired, glasses. It reminds me of your person, actually, but maybe not as nice as your. I don't know. So in the PowerPoint presentation, I put. Actually, it's quite funny. Yeah, I put in the PowerPoint. Someone recently teased me about Doctor Who in my PowerPoint. So
that actually reminds me of the story, though.
So in the delivery of the PowerPoint, it literally had the name come up in the PowerPoint. So it's like, someone teased me about this. Bob.
Wow. So you actually revealed the truth about him in front of the entire class. That is amazing.
I revealed it about him in front of the class. Everybody kind of laughed it wasn't so much in a teasy way. It was a little bit, but it was also kind of funny. It even made me laugh because I was looking forward to it. So it was like, he teased me about this, Bob, and then everybody just laughed and thought it was funny, and it ended in I always remembered it in a funny light, even though it was, it had begun on, bad, routes. So, yeah. Apart from that, I can't think of anything. Whenever someone got in trouble, it was always like, well, you deserve it, so yeah. But, yeah.
So, Rowan, anything from your end?
The thing with me is, when I was younger, I was a very dreamy and spacey child, so even if I was bullied, I probably didn't even really notice that much.
Oh, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but let me tell you, it's kind of dawning on me that people might have, the moments people have been teasing us and we don't think about it, it's like say if you learnt a new rhyme or song, and whether you learn it from somewhere or make it up yourself, and you tell it to a friend and it's like, wow, can you do it again? And you do it again, and it's like he brings his friend over and it's like, can you do it again? And you keep on doing it, and you don't even realize that they're just doing it because you're doing something involuntarily, and it's in front of a big crowd, and it's like, you little scumbags, I thought you really liked that. So yeah, I'm sure we've all been in a situation like that. So anyway, press on, Rowan.
Well, like I said, knowing how I was as a kid, I probably was bullied. I just never really paid any attention to it because I was too lost in my own head, probably. Though I'm sure the only one who stands out is a person I'm sure I told you about in a previous podcast.
Ben.
I think, yes, I knew it was a B name. Ben, who, he wasn't even like my specific bully. He was just like a general class nuisance. Like, nobody in that class liked him, I don't think. And I think he just like reveled in the fact that nobody liked him. He's like, yes, I am the king of all hated people. I am the rat man.
Oh my god.
Well, if anyone's interested, there's quite the story about him, which we brought up in previous podcasts, so feel free to have a look around and see if you can find it. However, I do have one shorter story, which I do want to end this segment off with. There was this other guy in my year and in my class in high school who I'm gonna name Nathan. Now, now Nathan, I think he started off as a tease and a class clown, but eventually cleared up his act. But during my younger years, I was like, if you're wanting to make a good impression, this isn't the way to do it. And so I remember one instant, it was during my art class, and the teacher had us standing around this one desk, and she was talking about our next art project and what we would be doing. And let's just say Nathan was doing some pretty inappropriate gestures behind her back, and the rest of the class was laughing. And she slowly caught on to it and said, right, whoever's doing that, whoever's disturbing the class, you're going to be in trouble when I find out. And considering the fact that everyone else was laughing and that art was my favourite subject during high school, I was like, I'm not going to stand for this. And so, by the end of the lecture, when the teacher said, does anyone have any questions about it? I raised my hand just to say, it was Nathan. The whole class laughed. The teacher was like, thank you, Daniel. And she herds him outside and gives him a good scalding. So, yeah. I always remember that. It makes me chuckle looking back that I took the opportunity to ask a question just to expose him. Like, any questions? I have a question. It was him.
It was Nathan.
So, yeah. Take that, Nathan.
I think I just wanted to say that it sounds like Rowan, you were saying like if you were bullied you didn't really think about it. It sounds like you were blissfully unaware. It sounds quite good. Like
I was a very spacey child.
And also, Michael, you said just now you actually remembered another story.
Yes, well, it wasn't something to do with school or college or anything, but it was probably involved with school. I can't really remember, but apparently a friend of mine gave someone that I knew and hated my phone number without my permission.
Jesus. If there's one thing you do not want circulating, it's your phone number.
Yeah, so what happened was I was probably at my auntie's or something, and it was like late at night. I don't know how old I was, but I got like this random call from this random number, and I think I picked it up, and I didn't recognize the voice, unless I did, but I probably forgot, because it was obviously tired. And the person told me that, Doctor Who is going to end, the whole world's going to end, and me as a kid, I was thinking, I was like, what the hell? I thought it was like real.
Now, just pointing this out there now, kids, Everyone at first believes one end of the world scenario, and once you live through it and it doesn't happen, that's when you know it's not going to happen. Because in many religions, predicting the end of the world goes against scripture, because especially in Christianity, where it says no person can know the date or the time, as in, if the end of the world was to happen, it should be unpredictable when it happens. So yeah,
Definitely.
Continue.
Yeah, well, I don't think anything else happened. We just left the number, and I obviously blocked it like normal people would have done. But I think it was someone I didn't know, and it wasn't the same body I mentioned in my office story, but it was someone that we didn't get along with, but we tried to get along because we felt sorry for him, but then he did that to me afterwards. So, yeah. But
Well,
nothing else happened after that.
Thankfully,
Maybe this person had premonitions about how the future of Doctor Who would be with Doctor Who's going to end. Chip, no!
I don't think he was like a fan of Doctor Who, and he knew I was, and obviously he knew I was a fan of Doctor Who when I was a kid, he was like a massive fan. And he was like, oh, if I told him Doctor Who's going to end tomorrow, he's going to be depressed or whatever. But, I got obviously.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's whatever form payback takes. If the opportunity presents itself, well, only you'll know how the outcome will be. So, yeah.
Yes, I haven't got revenge yet, but, I don't need revenge, really.
Good for
Karma is a good thing sometimes.
Yeah.
You are listening to the TBI show!
Well, it's time to end this podcast off with the month's most ridiculous headlines.
Yeah!
The month's most ridiculous headlines.
Okay.
I practiced a much better, deeper voice earlier for that. Never mind.
Okay. In this month's news, the global internet is being attacked by sharks, confirms Google.
What?
So.
Why don't we say sharks?
Yeah. Apparently, underwater internet cables are being attacked by sharks.
Oh.
Yeah, may as well.
Just imagine someone at home aware of this problem, and the Wi-Fi goes out and they go, "Those bloody sharks again!"
It's like every time there's buffering in the future, you're gonna hear.
Yes.
That's funny because I had a power car, so that's kind of coincidence.
So yeah, if the internet ever goes down again, just blame the sharks.
What if the sharks are like the animatronic dolphins they're putting in water parks? Like, what if the sharks have internet destroying capabilities?
How will the world cope?
Oh, no.
Okay, so here's the next headline, and boy is it a doozy. A man has been hospitalized after inserting a battery up his to boost his own energy.
Wow. The stupidity of humanity.
Jeez. So, yep, you heard that right. A guy trying to energize himself inserted a battery up his you-know-what and was hospitalized for it.
Yeah.
We have officially reached graphic content in the TBI podcast.
Yeah, it's funny happened.
So,
okay.
Yeah. The
So
level.
that reminds me of a funny story. I've got so at work, not gonna name it, grocery store. So when I first started at work, I heard a story that someone needed to weren't any condoms on the shelf, so you're meant to substitute stuff for other things. So if there's no like tub of vanilla ice cream, you'd give them a different sort of vanilla ice cream. So somebody subbed condoms and gave the person batteries instead. It's like, what are you gonna do with that? Like, it's like won't the acid hurt? I mean, I was just like, what?
I know when you don't want to know how it works.
This
I
is
don't want to think
fresh powder late into the podcast here. We need to mention that this podcast is now rated 15.
Yeah, maybe rate it up a bit.
So, yeah.
The worst bit about that story is I told so many people. Eventually, people started saying that I did it, and I was like, "No, it's not me."
Jeez.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Well, speaking of store stories, here's another one, and it's saying a guilty dog has landed a spot on a convenience store's wall of shame.
Oh no.
So, I'm sure some stores will have this, a wall of shame, where it's basically pictures of suspicious customers they don't want to see in the store again, whether it be hooded shoplifters or people who have caused scenes, etc. And apparently, this dog had snuck in for treats on several occasions, and now his picture is on the front window's wall of shame saying, "Keep an eye out for this dog."
I've never seen that.
Because he snuck in treats?
No, because he snuck in and took the treats.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
How has no one seen that now?
Well, it's I'm just seeing some of the pictures of these people. They look like security camera footage. So, yeah.
I'd honestly say I haven't got a wall of shame at the place I work. I mean, it sounds like a good idea. But
Yeah.
I've never seen that in any of the stores I go to.
So, here's a new headline. A rat broke into an ATM and ate $18,000 worth of cash.
What?
Yeah.
So, yikes. That hurts both the economy and the rodent.
talk about expensive tastes.
Oh,
God.
had to happen.
What's with the turns?
So, I'm just looking at this meme someone posted under the picture, and it's that scene from The Dark Knight where the Joker's at the pile of money saying, "It's not about the money. It's about sending a message."
Yeah.
So, the poor rodent. How can his stomach hold that much?
Apparently it takes, what was it, 18,000?
Yeah.
Apparently 18,000 pounds is enough to fill up a rat.
Really?
According to that.
Yeah.
Like, how much paper would you have to eat to feel full? Apparently 18,000 pounds worth. So, yeah.
Well,
That's insane.
and now for the final headline of the night. SpaceX launches ants, avocados, and a robot to the International Space Station. Now,
That's cheating. A robot doesn't begin with A, just because they put a robot at the start.
now, let me be the first to say, am I the only one who wants to see that as a new TV show? Like this team of space travelers, like one of them's an ant, one of them's a sentient avocado, the other's a robot.
There you go. Antoine has his own movie.
Yeah. Don't let anyone steal that idea.
Outside, gotta eat our avocados now.
Antoine
I can imagine
in
Dudley.
space.
Hmm.
So yeah,
That's our own solution.
the never-ending experiments on the International Space Station show no signs of stopping, and whatever they have planned for the ants, avocados, and that one robot, well, who knows?
Hmm. We shall see.
Well, we're almost out of time for the podcast. Is there anything you want to bring up before we sign off?
Apart from dying from this illness, that's not COVID, no.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think we have to say get well soon to Michael and happy birthday to Daniel.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Well, until next time, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Bye.